Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, Hong Kong Update. I'm Dan McDonald from Baxter Media, and today is Friday, May 29th. Now, just before we get into things, I'd like to check in with our viewers to let them know that if you have any questions at all during this webinar, please type them into the Q&A box found in your Zoom toolbar, and those questions will be answered in due time. Presenting for us today is Yuen Kan Wong, Marketing Manager with the Hong Kong Tourism Board here in Toronto. Hi, Yuen. Thank you so much for being here.
Hi, Dan. Hi, everyone. Happy Friday. Welcome to the Hong Kong Update webinar. Thanks for taking the time to be here today. My name again is Yuen, and I'm the Marketing Manager at the Hong Kong Tourism Board in Canada. I will be your presenter today, and if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. And I believe Dan will present them to me at the end of the webinar, and I will do my best to answer them. And remember, for all of you here today that stay till the end of the webinar, you stand a chance to win one of 5 $200 e-gift cards. So just to give you an idea of what I will be covering today, here is a quick overview. I will introduce my trade team, followed by an update on how Hong Kong has tackled COVID-19, and then an overview of what our plans are in Canada for 2020. And that's followed by an introduction to Hong Kong for those not familiar with the destination. I will provide updates on the latest tourism developments before closing with tools we have to help travel agents sell Hong Kong. So let's start by introducing our trade team in Canada. Michael Lim, he's the Director of Canada, Central and South America, and he is a veteran in the industry with over 35 years at the board. Some of you may know him. Then there's me in the middle. And supporting Michael and me is Betty Kam, who is another veteran in the board with over 30 years experience. So you may also be familiar with her. Betty is listening in today, so I'm sure she's waving from where she is, and you can do a virtual wave back at her. All right, so let's move on to how Hong Kong has handled COVID-19. The government of the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region took early action in closing borders with mainland China in January once news of the virus started circulating. Social distancing measures were quickly in place with staff working from home and schools were closed. There was also mandatory quarantine for overseas arrivals. And in terms of the airport, international flights were suspended early on and temperature control was stepped up. I want to highlight that since SARS, everyone who disembarks from all flights in Hong Kong are being given temperature assessments, so this is nothing new. But additional measures such as mandatory masks on Cathay flights and at the airport, as well as sterilization and cleaning by robots and special cleaning booths are currently in place. So this just goes to show how innovative and proactive our airport is. The airport also recently won the Skytrax Best Airport Immigration Service Award, and it is now reopening for transit flights from June 1st, with more to reopen very shortly. We have just heard that the Hong Kong Convention and Exhibition Center recently opened and hosted the first exhibition since COVID-19 pandemic with the 98th Hong Kong Wedding Fair on May 22nd to 24th. All the precautions and social distancing measures were in place and the event was successfully held. In terms of flights, there are currently 5 weekly flights to Hong Kong from Vancouver. And starting in June, it will gradually increase to 6, then 9, and then 16 by June 24th. In July, Air Canada will increase to 5 times weekly out of Vancouver, whilst resuming full capacity out of Toronto in July. And Cathay is currently also has scheduled full resumption of services in July. For HKTB, we have a 3-phase roadmap to resume business. For the present, we will remain resilient to the situation and keep up communications with the trade. During the recovery phase, we will start to test the market with tactical co-ops targeting ethnic and millennials. So for our relaunch, we will be going out full scale with the consumer campaigns as well as tactical co-ops with tour operator partners. So please stay tuned for tour packages and campaigns from us. We will also be rebranding in the first quarter of 2021. Okay, so again, keep an eye out for our new campaigns. In terms of major consumer campaigns in 2020, This will include a continuation of our partnership with the Weather Network and the Globe and Mail, both of which were suspended last year, and we will hopefully be resuming them in the fall. We had a very successful campaign with Global BC in 2018, and we'll be bringing them back to Hong Kong for another round in the fall. And stay tuned to ET Canada in the fall and winter, as we will be running something very special with them. And of course, we stay the course throughout with our social media presence. So now let me show you a very quick vlog of Rachel Shelton, the weather specialist from the Weather Network while she was in Hong Kong last year.
Chinese opera. We have an exclusive look today at the behind the scenes makeover that goes into the incredible looks of Chinese opera. This is ancient history and we are bringing it to you. And guess what? I am sitting in the chair getting my makeup done today. Let's go. Check this out. You can see them getting ready. Real hair being glued onto my head. This is truly an art. I think people are thinking, what is this woman doing? Little do they know, I'm from Canada.
Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that little clip there. Part of our recovery includes partnerships with other Asian destinations because over 90% of Canadians to Hong Kong go beyond to other destinations. So strategically, it makes sense for us to join forces with our neighbors to jointly promote our destinations. We work closely with Taiwan, Thailand, and Vietnam, as these are very popular amongst Canadians and are connected to Hong Kong by multiple airlines in the region. Keep your eyes open for tour packages and promotions throughout fall and winter. And we will also be having dedicated websites, microsites developed for each of these partnerships. In addition, a group of 6 Asian tourism boards have come together to provide agents with a refresher on the region in the fall. And this comprises of the Hong Kong Tourism Board, Korea Tourism Organization, Philippines Department of Tourism, Tourism Malaysia, Taiwan Tourism Bureau, and Tourism Authority of Thailand. We will be hosting the first ever travel industry webcast and virtual game show. So stay tuned and don't miss out on this exciting event. More details will be coming in the next couple of months. Now, an introduction to Hong Kong. In 2019, we had a total of 55.9 million visitors to Hong Kong from around the world. And from Canada, there were 319,000 arrivals. Euromonitor has placed Hong Kong as the most visited city in the world in 2019, followed by Bangkok, Macau, Singapore, and London. So this speaks of the appeal of the destination. So now, on to Geography 101. Hong Kong is situated at the southernmost part of China. It is connected to the mainland via Shenzhen. Hong Kong is made up of 260 plus outlying islands, the largest of which is Lantau to the left, which is home to the Hong Kong International Airport, the Big Buddha, and Disneyland. Hong Kong Island to the south of the peninsula houses the city's financial district in Central, the Convention Center, the Peak, Dragon's Back Hiking Trail, and Ocean Park, amongst others. On the Kowloon Peninsula, we have the main tourist shopping area of Tsim Sha Tsui, the famous Ladies Market and Temple Street Night Market, the Sky 100 Observation Deck, the newly spruced up Tsim Sha Tsui Promenade, and the West Kowloon Cultural District. And of course, at the central and eastern part of the peninsula, we have the New Territories, which houses Sai Kung on the east coast, also our great outdoors and the UNESCO Geopark. People think of Hong Kong as a vibrant city that never sleeps, but they don't realize that actually 70% of the city is rural space, of which 40% are conservation areas. So there are lots of green space. Getting around Hong Kong is super easy and very affordable. From the airport, you can either take a taxi or actually hop on the Airport Express line for just about $17 and you'll be downtown in 20 to 25 minutes. And at the Kowloon and Hong Kong stations, there are complimentary shuttle buses that take you to the major hotels around town. The MTR subway system is also very efficient and connects you to practically all parts of the city. The tram, affectionately known as Ding Ding to locals, is only about 50 cents Canadian a ride, and it plies along the tip of Hong Kong Island. The peak tram takes you to the top of the peak for a $1 million view of the skyline, and the Star Ferry lets you absorb the harbor view also for 50 cents a ride. Both the tram and the Star Ferry have been in operation since the 1800s. So they are both practical modes of transportation and also historical with a story to tell. Now for all of these, you can use the Octopus card, which is similar to the Compass card in Vancouver and the Presto card in Toronto, but with more functions. You can use the Octopus card also at restaurants, convenience stores, shops and malls, and they can be topped up at 7-Eleven convenience stores around the city. So it's very easy and convenient to use. Hong Kong uses the Hong Kong dollar, which is pegged to the US dollar. You can bring your bank ATM card with you and withdraw Hong Kong dollars from the ATM machines instead of going to the foreign exchange. Your bank will charge you a nominal fee, usually between $3 to $5 for each transaction. Hong Kong used to be part of the British colonies, so English is very widely used, with signage being bilingual in English and Chinese. Hong Kong is subtropical with 4 seasons. Winter is mild and rarely dips below 10 degrees Celsius, and it doesn't snow there. So the best time to visit Hong Kong is from October to March. Typhoon season is usually in August, September, although these days with global warming, this might shift a bit. Now let's move on to experiences. There are multiple experiences that can be had in Hong Kong, but we will focus on 4 key ones, which are great outdoors, dining, arts, and living culture. As previously mentioned, Hong Kong is made up mostly of green space. For those who love the outdoors, you can check out our hiking and cycling guide that provides maps and trails to spectacular scenic vantage points. And here's a video to show you what you can expect. You got to agree, those are some awesome views out there, isn't it? Now, on to dining. Hong Kong is the culinary capital of Asia, so from street food to 3-star Michelin restaurants, we have them all. Eating in Hong Kong is very affordable and we have lots of choices, whether local or international. For me, I would highly recommend dim sum for breakfast, wonton noodles for lunch, egg tart and milk tea for afternoon tea, and a fresh catch of the day seafood dinner. Then head over to Soho or Lan Kwai Fong in Central for a speakeasy or bar hopping experience to cap the night off. The art scene in Hong Kong is vibrant and sophisticated, from street art in Old Town Central to the West Kowloon Cultural District. Hong Kong is an art lover's paradise. There are numerous major arts events that take place during Arts Month in March, including Art Basel, and plenty of art galleries and museums, as well as outdoor art installations. Immerse yourself in the local culture. That's a key reason for travel. And in Hong Kong, there's plenty of local culture to absorb. Hong Kong is divided into 18 districts, and each district has its own distinct personality and special experiences. A good way to experience local culture is through food, as we all know, and we have numerous foodie tours that will take you through the neighborhoods to taste what the locals eat, shop where the locals shop, and you also learn about the history and stories that helped build the neighborhoods to what they are today. And you can check out the foodie tours on our website. Hong Kong is also the events capital of Asia. Yeah, events and festivals every month of the year. From mega events to cultural festivals to sporting events, there's something happening throughout the year. Our website has a calendar of events and festivals that you can refer to when you are planning a trip to Hong Kong for yourself or for your clients. Moving on to attractions. The Hong Kong Island tour takes you to various key attractions on Hong Kong Island. You will go to the Peak on the century-old Peak tram that works on a funicular system on a steep incline. At the Peak, you will be rewarded with a spectacular view of Victoria Harbour and the skyline. On this tour, you will also get to see Aberdeen Fishing Village, that is still a working village today. You'll see Stanley Market, which is a popular street market, and Repulse Bay, home to the rich and famous. And you'll also get to see one of our pristine beaches. Yes, we have beaches too. Markets. No cultural experience is complete without markets. In Hong Kong, we have markets for almost anything from knickknacks to electronics to antiques and jade to flowers and goldfish and sporting goods and toys. Popular markets would include the Ladies Market and Temple Street Night Market, both of which are located in Kowloon near Tsim Sha Tsui, as I mentioned earlier. Sky 100, it is the highest indoor observation deck in Hong Kong at the 100th floor of the International Commerce Center, also known as the ICC. ICC is the tallest building in Hong Kong, for your information, and it offers, the Sky 100 offers a 360-degree view of Hong Kong, and you can even have an afternoon tea while enjoying the view there. ICC is also home to the Ritz-Carlton from the 102nd floor to 118th floor. And the swimming pool is actually located on the 118th floor, so a pool with a view. The Symphony of Lights is a nightly synchronized light show involving some 42 buildings on both sides of the harbor. It comes on at 8 p.m. every night and lasts about 10 minutes. The best location to view the show, you ask me? Well, it should be on a cruise along the Victoria Harbour so that you can see the show on both sides of the harbour. Sorry, I skipped one. Speaking of cruises, you can enjoy the harbour view in the daytime at sunset or in the evening on numerous boats. The iconic junk boat, which is the Duckling, is a 45-minute to an hour-long boat ride, and it offers spectacular views of the harbour. Or you can take a 9-minute scenic Star Ferry ride across the harbour from Kowloon to Hong Kong Island or vice versa. As mentioned at the beginning, Hong Kong is made up of over 260 islands. On Lantau, the biggest island, you can visit the Big Buddha via the Nong Ping 360 cable car, which offers great views of the airport and the Hong Kong-Macau-Zhuhai Bridge. It's a 25-minute ride, and for the acrophile, you have the option to take the glass bottom cabin. While there, you can check out the Tai O Fishing Village to see how the local fisher folks live. Other islands to visit would include the Lama Island, where you can rent a bike and explore the island along a biking or hiking trail. And you can end up at a fishing village that serves up fresh seafood for lunch and dinner. Cheung Chau and Ping Chau Islands are also worth visiting for the trails and villages. In terms of accommodation, Hong Kong has a whole range of accommodation from student hostels to a 6-star luxury hotel. There's accommodation to suit every need. We currently have over 84,000 rooms in licensed properties, and more are constantly added as new hotels are being built. Now, on to new developments. The West Kowloon Cultural District is one of the largest cultural projects in the world, blending art, education, and open space. Its vision is to create a vibrant cultural quarter for Hong Kong, where the local arts scene can interact, develop, and collaborate. The Chi Center, which is home to the Cantonese Opera, opened last year, while the M Plus building will be completed shortly, and the M Plus Museum is slated to open next year. K11 Museum Art Mall is located on the site of the former New World Hotel and Shopping Center, and it will definitely grab the attention of not only shoppers, but art lovers as well. The vision of the K11 group is to reinvigorate Hong Kong's waterfront with over 100 power designers, and to make K11 Museum the Silicon Valley of culture that will inspire global millennials. Along the same stretch of the Tsim Sha Tsui Promenade as the West Kowloon Cultural District and K11 Museum is the Museum of Art, the Hong Kong Museum of Art. It reopened its doors only a few months ago after extensive renovation. It was established in 1962, and this museum is the first public art museum in the city, now custodian to an art collection of over 17,000 items, okay, representing the unique cultural legacy of Hong Kong's connection across the globe. When Hong Kongers think of textile, they remember the mills in Tsuen Wan from the 1960s. The mills now is a landmark revitalization project. It is a retail, cultural, exhibition, and arts space. And there are guided tours available on the weekends where visitors can learn about the reinvention of the former Nan Fung cotton spinning factories into the mills, and also the transformation of Tsuen Wan's textile past into a textile future. So now it's very modern, but it also has a history to it. Monopoly, everybody knows Monopoly and has played with it. And Monopoly Dreams is the first Monopoly-themed attraction in the world, and it's located at the Peak. A very, very appropriate location, as the Peak is the most expensive title deed in Hong Kong, and it's also the supreme king of property in the Monopoly Hong Kong edition. So make sure you drop by while at the Peak during your next visit to Hong Kong. And we are constantly developing new tours for visitors to immerse themselves in the local culture. And we continue to work with local tour operators to come up with edutaining tours that are both enjoyable and educational. And you can visit our website to discover the full touring menu of new tours. So last but not least, let's move on to tools. Throughout this presentation, I kept asking you to refer to our website. DiscoverHongKong.com is truly an extensive site with lots of practical information for both you and your clients. Consumers and travel agents alike can check out our website as they research their trip to Hong Kong. For your information, we are currently revamping our site, and very shortly you will see a new version of the site which will be fully interactive. And so meanwhile, though, you can still access the website at the same web address. Follow us or like us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay abreast of the latest tourism information on Hong Kong. Tourist map. We developed a real-time online tourist map for visitors in Hong Kong, which is hktouristmap.hongkong, to keep them updated on the opening hours or closures of attractions, transportations, and roads. So visitors can always check here on this site before proceeding to their intended destination in town. This is a very handy tool to keep in mind for your clients to Hong Kong. Okay, so you should share this map with them. For travel agents, we have a dedicated trade website, partnernet.hktv.com. Make sure you register on this site to obtain trade-related information and specials that are offered only to travel trade partners, such as discounted attractions and hotel rates if you visit Hong Kong. You can download images that you can use for your flyers and client presentations here. And you also can get the latest scoop on promotions and campaigns that we are running in Canada. Okay. There is also an e-marketplace here where you can have access to our database of Hong Kong attractions, hotels, ground handlers, etc., to request direct assistance from them or to request for proposals. When you sign up for a trade partner account, you will automatically be on our e-newsletter mailing list, where we will also provide you with monthly updates on the latest happenings. And finally, the Hong Kong Specialist Program. When you complete the program, you will get a certificate and a whole host of benefits that come with being a Hong Kong specialist. For example, if you visit Hong Kong on your own, you will be given a welcome pack, which consists of an MTR pass, a SIM card for your phone, plus free admission to some popular attractions presented earlier, such as the Sky 100, Duckling Cruise, etc. I'm sorry that the window is back again, so if you can just ignore it. And just want to announce here also that we are launching a campaign for travel agents to encourage you to get the Hong Kong Specialist Certificate. For those who complete the program before June 17th, you will be eligible to be entered into a draw for one of 5 $200 gift cards. So those who have completed the course before need only log in to review the course, and you can also stand a chance to win. Make sure you fill in the entry form on the ad that you will see in Canadian Travel Press and and Travel Courier digital magazines, and also Baxter Travel e-blasts to participate in the contest. Again, all participants must complete the HK Specialist Program, the Hong Kong Specialist Program, to be eligible for the draw. So make sure you click on the link in the contest entry form, and that will take you to our specialist course, which is the screen that you see here. So at the end of the day, you may even win 2 gift cards, okay? One by attending this webinar and one by completing the specialist course. Okay, just a reminder though that these contests are only open to travel agents over 18 years old residing in Canada. So good luck, everybody. And with that, it concludes my presentation for today. Please feel free to contact me if you have any questions or if we can help you plan a trip for yourself or for your client. We look forward to welcoming you and your clients to Hong Kong when the market reopens and business resumes. Meanwhile, please take care, stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Yuen. That was fantastic.
Thank you, Dan.
So, of course, we have a thank you message coming in from Sharnaz. Thank you so much, Sharnaz. Thank you for attending.
Sharnaz.
And I will read out some of the questions that have been submitted by our attendees here.
Sure.
Craig asks, do you foresee good hotel promotions for the rest of the year?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Do you foresee good hotel promotions for the rest of the year?
Yes. We think there will be some good promotions coming up from hotels. I think it's the same for everywhere in the world. All the travel industry is hurting. So apart from specific dates which might coincide with major events happening in Hong Kong, other than that, I think there will be some good promotions coming up from hotels. So stay tuned.
That's great. And Ricky asked a question that I can answer. He asked if he can have a copy of this presentation. Yeah, Ricky, so what we're going to do is upload the recording of this webinar to YouTube, and I'm going to email that to everybody on Monday morning. So you will see that in your inbox on Monday.
Perfect.
Let's see, next up, Sharnaz asks, is the program of the short transit stop in Hong Kong getting travelers free city tours and transfers still in operation?
No, we don't have that anymore. It has been discontinued for a long time, but we do have other programs in place that would encourage visitors to make a stop in Hong Kong before moving on to the next destination, or vice versa. So hopefully that helps with planning your trip for your clients, Sharnaz.
Yeah, Sharnaz says thank you. Thank you, Yuen.
You're welcome.
And Christina asks if hotels are open yet.
Hotels are open. But I think there are still some measures in place for social distancing, for making sure that you know, everyone is safe, right, and healthy. There will be lots of checks in place, a lot of temperature checks, for example. And again, if to be honest though, because the airport actually has not opened up to non-residents coming into Hong Kong, so the situation is still not a fully 100% reopened. Hotels are open, but again, there are a lot of measures in place. So please check with the hotels before booking any of your clients in, whether they are returning residents to Hong Kong or not. Again, this is still a very fluid situation.
Of course, of course. Yeah, thank you, Yuen.
You're welcome.
And Tina asks if you have any advice for people on a long layover with highlights that can be seen in a few hours.
We normally recommend that layover be minimum of 8 hours in order for someone to be able to enjoy a bit of Hong Kong before moving on with the next leg of the journey. So there are quite a few things you can do. Obviously, we don't have a lot of operators offering guided tours specifically for transit passengers, but Hong Kong is very easy to get around, and visitors can easily take public transportation, for example, to the Big Buddha, which is on Lantau Island, same location as the airport, and that is the closest attraction, I would say, that they can visit. And going there, you can go there by taxi, and it will take you to the Tung Chung station, where you can actually take the cable car that will take you to the Big Buddha. So that's one form of one way you can get there. But there are numerous other ways, other tours as well. For example, your client can also actually take the Airport Express down to the city center in 25 minutes. Have a walk around town, visit the street markets, for example, or explore the food scene in Hong Kong before hopping on a flight to the next destination.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. That will segue nicely into Lorena's question, who asked, how will you combine Hong Kong with other destinations via tour operators?
We actually have, we're actually working, that's a great question, by the way. We actually are working very closely with other destinations as well as tour operators to put together packages. So we have a lot of tour operator partners that are working with, for example, Galway, GLP, Royal Scenic, and so even Jade Tours and etc. So we have partners that we work with, and you can always talk to your BDMs from these respective tour operators and ask if they have products to Hong Kong and beyond. And if you need more information or need a list of operators that we are working with or that offer multi-destination packages, including Hong Kong, please send me a message. I'll be happy to point you in the right direction.
Oh, that's so great.
You're welcome.
And Ricky asks, how will an operator get involved with the relaunch of the promotion, including Asia Now?
We will be inviting participation shortly. Everything is being discussed right now and in the early stages of planning. So once we are ready to share more information, we will be in touch with all our major tour operator partners. So stay tuned, Ricky.
Great, okay. And Shanaz asks, do we know if the local seats and coach sightseeing are going to be operational by September?
I cannot answer the question right away. That's a great question. I don't have the answer to that question, unfortunately. I will have to check with the situation in Hong Kong and get back to you, because it depends on when we open up the airport for arrivals into Hong Kong. And once that opens up, then the seating coach would naturally follow. So for now, the airport is still closed to visitors. So we will have to keep monitoring the situation, and we'll let you know. So
Mm.
Shanaz, please send me an email, and I'll get back to you. Okay.
That's great. Yeah, that's something to look forward to for sure. And Shanaz also asked, are you planning on having any agent FAMs to Hong Kong once this is all over?
Yes, we will be, but not immediately, I don't think. As people have been alluding to, travel to any part of the world will take a while to resume normalcy. So we will have to take the reading from the market and consumer sentiment, and then plan accordingly. So, but as soon as we have something in place, we'll definitely keep you posted.
Great. Okay. And then
But,
Lorena
okay,
just had a
sorry.
request to be added to your database, but I've made a note of her email address, and I'll be sending that to you.
Perfect. Thank you, Dan. And let me just supplement what I said earlier before about Shanaz's question about FAMs. The Hong Kong specialist is a great way to get yourself acquainted. And not only that, we at some point, hopefully in the fall or winter, we are planning to launch a campaign for winners to visit Hong Kong on a global FAM. So keep your eye open for later in the year for when that promotion comes on. Okay.
Fantastic. Yeah, Shanaz says thanks. And of course, Shanaz, that's Yuen's email address listed on the lower half of the screen there.
Great. Excellent.
Okay, so we have a comment from Renee saying, many thanks for the great presentation.
Thank you, Ray. I hope you learned something. It's always nice to be refreshed on the destination, and as always, Hong Kong is a vibrant city, so there's always something new happening, something new that comes up, every day. So hopefully this is a good refresher for those who are familiar with the destination. And again, if you have any questions, please feel free to email me or give me a call.
Wonderful. Okay. And I think I know the answer to this question already, but Bella asked if a client of mine has a flight booked for July, for example, Toronto to Guangzhou, can the passenger use this flight?
Sorry, say that again.
If a client has a flight booked for July, for example, Toronto to Guangzhou,
Yep.
can the passenger use this flight?
Well, it would depend on the airline, right? If the airline is operating, if the airports are operating. Right now, we are not 100% sure of what the situation is going to be, because a lot of the airlines are changing their flight schedules, on a weekly basis. But I believe the Chinese airlines are operating domestically, so pretty much China is ready for business. So so check in with the airlines, and they should be able to give you a clearer picture.
Right. And then Bella submitted again. Will Hong Kong allow if it's a flight that's going there? Will Hong Kong allow it?
Yes, as I mentioned, the Hong Kong is reopening for transit flights from June 1st. So transit passengers are allowed in the airport to land and to take off. So I hope that answers your question, Bella.
That's great. Yes, she said yes.
Great.
There's absolutely a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yes. Yes.
And Peter asks, just curious, out of the 260 islands, how many islands are inhabited?
Oh, that's a great question for which I don't have an answer for you right away. A lot of them are small islands, but the bigger ones that I've mentioned are inhabited, and people actually go to and from the island to Hong Kong Island or to Kowloon Peninsula for work. So if you just send me an email, I can give you the answer once I've searched that up. But that's a question that has been asked before. But again, because a lot of these islands, majority of these islands, I would say, 250 and more of these islands are small islands and are not inhabited.
Right.
Yeah. So just a few, I would say.
Okay. And then Stephanie asked, non-Hong Kong residents are allowed to visit Hong Kong now. No, it's not now, it's June 1st, right?
No. Even after June 1st, no, it's still not open to non-residents at this point. We don't know when yet. They have not made an announcement on when they will allow non-residents to visit
Oh,
Hong
right,
Kong.
right.
Yeah. So right now it's only open for transit passengers.
Right, okay, yeah, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, let's see. What's next here? Lorena asks, are there programs for clients interested in fairs looking for business?
I'm not sure I understand the question. Can you repeat it again?
I guess interested in fairs and festivals. She has some
Oh, I
clients.
see.
She's
As
looking
in,
looking for business in that respect.
okay, so as in exhibitions and conventions and fairs as an FAIRS, right?
Exactly, that's right, yeah.
Like I said, the Hong Kong Convention and Exhibition Center just hosted the wedding fair in May, just last week actually. So there will the fairs are actually still taking place, and there are buyers and sellers that have been to Hong Kong to participate in these fairs. So, but these fairs again, of course, apart from the exhibitors, a lot of them are locals. You would get a lot of local buyers. So if you're interested in that, I can certainly put you in touch with the Trade Development Council, and they will send you a list of the upcoming fairs that will be taking place in Hong Kong.
Great, okay.
Yeah.
And then Manju asked, are there going to be different transit restrictions for non-Canadian citizens that are trying to come via Hong Kong? And then she said, oh, I should have clarified, coming from Australia to Canada.
Coming from Australia via Hong Kong to Canada, is that correct?
That's right, yeah.
They will be considered transit passengers because they won't be staying in Hong Kong, right, as part of their trip. So if that's the case, then they will be screened like everybody else will be screened with all the measures that are in place at the airport and on the airplane. So if you're taking Cathay Pacific, for example, you will be required to wear a mask on the flight and also at the airport. And you'll be given a temperature check as you pass through the channels. And apart from that, they because you're transiting from June 1st onwards, you will not be required to, for example, quarantine in Hong Kong, obviously. But again, coming into Canada, it depends on the immigration as you pass through what their procedure is. Does that answer the question?
I would say so, yes. Yeah, she said, okay, thank you.
Great, thank you.
Thanks for your question, Manju. And Galia asks, how busy do you think Hong Kong will be at the end of the year?
If I had a crystal ball, I would say very busy. Obviously, it still depends on when the world opens up. But I would say that we are ramping things up to go back to normalcy in Hong Kong for travelers, for tourism. And I would say it would be a great time to come to Hong Kong because there'll be a lot of festivities going on. Obviously, if social distancing still needs to be in place, that will be in place. But Hong Kong has been one of the first places to require masks. And actually people there automatically put on their masks, even if they're not sick, just as a protection against, for themselves and for other people. So I would say Hong Kong would be definitely, very much in ready to welcome back visitors. I would say by the fall, and I would say
Okay.
yeah. So it will be a busy time because also end of the year with Christmas and Winterfest, there'll be a lot of festivities taking place.
That's great. Thank you so much. And Amy asked, just to double check, as long as you can get a connecting ticket, Toronto to Hong Kong to Shanghai, transit is okay.
Yes, correct.
That's great. That's great.
That's again from June 1st, of course.
Of course, right. And then Alvin asks, so after June 1st, if people flying to Hong Kong, they can enter China like Guangzhou or Shenzhen by bus or boat or as transit.
No, because that would require you to leave the airport. You can transit by flight to other destinations. At this point, I'm not sure if it would involve the ferry transfer from the airport. I think as long as you have a connecting flight, that would be fine, but you're not allowed to leave the airport.
Of course, right. That makes sense. Thank you, Yuen.
You're welcome.
And I do believe that's it for the submitted questions. So I'd like to thank all the agents that tuned into the webinar today. Thank you
Great,
all
thank
so much for taking time out of your day. We appreciate you being here. And Yuen, thank you so much for your wonderful presentation.
Thank you, Dan. Thanks for moderating the session. Appreciate everybody's attendance. Again, stay safe, stay healthy, and enjoy the weekend, everybody.
Absolutely. Take care, everyone.
Take care.
Thank you, Yuen. Have a fantastic weekend.
You too. Thanks, Dan.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.